ladies and gentlemen, and everybody out there this fine evening where we are going to be celebrating the life and work and music of Robert Burns. Anna, Massie, how are you tonight?
Oh, just dandy. Looking forward to this. I've been excited about this all week.
It's quite incredible, actually. We have had so many brilliant contributions from people. The programme will definitely go over an hour tonight. The last piece we have in the programme, I'm just telling you now, do not tune out before you see it. It's Hamish Mcdonald's take on Tam Shanter in Inverness. It is a production in itself. It is quite incredible. So keep your eyes tuned to that. If you can, share the programme with people tonight. This is a good one to get right out there. So press the share button, get it out there. Let people know it's on. There's song, there's music, there's stories. There'll be a lot of laughter as well. It's been great seeing all the stuff coming in. Are you a regular Burns goer, Anna?
I must admit, I'm not really. I can't remember the last time I was at a full Burns supper. It's something that I've not really taken part in as an adult. I think when I was a student, I had a flatmate who was from Kent, and his mum and dad were up one January, and we tried to cook a haggis, and I think I had to do the Selkirk Grace, and that was as far as we got. So I'm really not very familiar with it. Are you? What's your Burns crack?
I love them, actually. We used to do quite a few. I'm wearing the rugby tie tonight because we used to do quite a few for the rugby club, which was always good fun. In fact, I remember taking half the team up there one day to do all the potatoes and the turnips ourselves. You know, it was that kind of homespun kind of thing, which was great fun. But also, I've done quite a few, just playing the fiddle at quite a few of them as well. And I remember actually once being asked at the rugby club in Edinburgh Uni to do the Haggis, and I was petrified. I mean, trying to memorise it it scared me for weeks and weeks and weeks. What we've got for you tonight, though, we have got an expert in to do To the Haggis, Mr. Stewart Cassells.
Yes.
Not only has he done To the Haggis, but he's also done some very, very handy tips on how to prepare your haggis. It's hilarious. So we've got that to look forward to. Jamie McLennan and Emily Smith with a beautiful Burns song. We're going to get you singing tonight as well, because we want to get your voices all ready to join us with a Burns song. So we've got a couple of Burns songs to sing tonight. We've got the usual, To the Lassies, To the Laddies, By Yourself, Your Own Fair Hand. Was that a panic trying to write that this afternoon?
I started 2 days ago. I did a bit of it yesterday. This morning I was back at it. It's like I've never done one before, so it was quite nerve-wracking. And even to perform that to an audience that you know is going to be largely on side is still quite a scary thing.
Absolutely.
And it's been such a long time. Actually, I haven't done any Blackwell correspondence stuff in ages, but all through the summer, I had the deadline of 4:30 to write something, film it, edit it, get it all uploaded onto the internet by 4:30, and it's months since I've done that. And there was this panic at 4:15 as it was all uploading. It was like, is this going to work? It was quite a adrenaline rush, I must admit, getting it all done.
You did a great job.
I bought a new webcam this week for Blue Zoom and Bewley, and I thought it would be great for having 2 camera angles for my Lassie's reply, and then also for Live at 5. It turns out that my laptop's too old to film anything from it, and it makes too much of a noise to work for Live at 5. So it's the same as normal. There's just been such a tech rage this afternoon that it feels pretty much like a normal day.
Oh, well, we better crack on because, as I say, this programme is absolutely packed full of stuff. We have got contributions from all around the world as well, including an Old Lang Syne from Japan. So really something to look forward to there as well. But let's start in traditional format, actually. And we've got Glenn and Morven from the Wick RBLS Pipe Band, who are under the instruction of Pipe Major Leslie Campbell. And here they are with A Man's a Man. wonderful. Glenn and Morven, thank you so much, and thanks to your dad, Scotty, for filming that and sending us in today as well. You've actually given us another clip which we'll use in next Friday's programme, that both playing the small pipes as well. So thank you so much for doing that. That's the kind of traditional way to start off a Burn Supper. We are trying to keep the tradition, but we will veer off at severe tangents all the way through the programme, as we are wont to do.
It wouldn't be this programme if we didn't, would it? Like...
No, there are so many people in touch tonight from all over the world as well. It's really difficult to keep up with it all, but thank you so much. If you can, remember to share it, let other people know as well. That would be absolutely wonderful. But we've got so much music, and well, I'd rather you heard that than us whittering on, because it's really good and people have taken a lot of time and effort to put it together. Emily Smith, from the land of Burns herself. She was actually on Travelling Folk last night as my guest, chatting about her involvement in Ellisland. This is the house that Robert Burns, and the farm, I think it was. They're trying to build a community, a support group around it. So they've got a concert coming up, and it's access to a stream of the concert, and it's only £1, a donation. That's all it is. But they would prefer if you gave a little bit more than that. So check it out. It's Ellisland Museum and Farm. And that's going out, I think, tomorrow night, maybe. I think it is. So keep your eyes out for that. But they've sent in a wonderful song. It's Jamie McLennan and Emily Smith.
Hi Bruce, hi Anna and everybody at Live at 5. We're Emily and Jamie. And
I'm Jamie.
You're Jamie.
She's Emily.
And we're delighted to be back to sing you a Burns song for your Burns Night special. So thank you for asking us. We're going to sing a song that Burns wrote down here in Dumfries and Galloway at his home Ellisland Farm, and it's "To the Weavers Gin Ye Go." My heart was in as blithe and free as summer days were land, but a bonny western weaver lad has got me changed my sand. To the weavers gin ye go, fairly, to the weavers gin ye go. Ah, did ye reckon that it next to the weavers gin ye go? My mother sent me to the tune to warp a blade and wall, but the weary warping art has got me sigh and sob. To the weavers gin ye go, fair me, to the weavers gin ye go. Ah, did ye reckon that it next to the weavers gin ye go? A bonny western weaver lad sat working at his loom. He took my hair cause we a net and every knot and thrum. To the weavers gin ye go, fair me, to the weavers gin ye go. Ah, did ye reckon that it next to the weavers gin ye go? And every knock my hair did get a stin. To the weavers gin ye go, fairly, to the weavers gin ye go. Ah, did ye reckon that it next to the weavers gin ye go? The moon was sinking in the west, we visage pale and wan, as my bonny western weaver lad convoyed me through the glen. To the weavers gin ye go, fairly, to the weavers gin ye go. Ah, did ye reckon that it next to the weavers gin ye go? But what was said or what was done, shame for me can I tell. But oh, I fear the country sin will kens as wheels must sell. To the weaving gin ye go, fair me, to the weavers gin ye go. Ah, did ye reckon that it next to the weavers gin ye go? To the weavers gin ye go, fair me, to the weavers gin ye go. Ah, did ye reckon that it next to the weavers gin ye go? Happy Burns Night! Cheerio!
Oh, absolutely brilliant, Jamie and Emily. Thank you so much for taking the time to do that and sharing that song. Just a delight to listen to them, isn't it?
Oh, it's just great. Just lovely. Loads of folk delighted about it. Actually, Kimberly Hens is saying, no telling what passers-by will think as I'm at work and the music is already making me want to dance.
There are some brilliant comments coming in about shooting haggises up in Benbecula.
That's right.
Yeah, now, there's also some very strange concoctions going on there. Haggis, Rogan, Josh.
As
That is-
Christian said, this Friday night is traditionally curry house, so they're having haggis, Rogan, Josh.
That is going to play havoc with your insides. I'm sure you don't want to know about that, but there is a theme running through tonight's programme as we get later on that you will work out. Thanks to Derrick Smith for a lovely poem that he's produced. And we have an old hag who has produced a little Burns poem as well, which is quite the scariest thing I have ever seen on this programme. And we have seen some scary things on this show altogether. So, the haggis, normally after a song or a bit of tunes, the haggis is piped in, and it gets to that stage of the night where we prepare for the address to the haggis. And we thought, well, who better to get to do this than a man who has piped in many, many haggises over his years and is an absolute gent, great at reciting the poetry as well. He was the man who started off the Red Hot Chili Pipers. He now works for a very famous whiskey brand, which you might see taking a prominent part in this little video. It is Mr. Stewart Cassells.
Hello and welcome to At Home with Haggis with me, Stewart Cassells, and we're going to learn how to make haggis lockdown style in the best possible way for you to enjoy this Burns Night 2021. Are you ready? So first things first, you need a haggis. Now don't listen to all that nonsense about haggis running about the mountains with two legs longer than the other, and you give it a fright and it falls over, you put it in your bag and take it home. A lot of nonsense. You don't have to worry about any of that whatsoever. You just need a good chanter. This is all you need. And you play the mating call of the haggis, and that's something a bit like this. And if you do that at your back door, haggis just come right to your back door, grab one, straight into the pot. The secret is you've got to get it into the pot within the first 5 minutes. Otherwise, they'll look a bit like gremlins, and we don't want to see that. So just get them in, straight into the pot, get it boiled up, hot water, fill the haggis with as much water as you possibly can, let it boil, and then just let it simmer, and then hold it there for a good couple of hours, and that's usually just the job. And then just when it's just about ready, what it kind of really needs after that, and already I can smell it, it's smelling fantastic. I'll put some your way, can you smell that there? Oh goodness, smelling fantastic. Just when it gets just about ready, you just need that wee extra ingredient. Now you need some pepper. So we get some pepper in there, that's it, okay. We need some salt. Get some salt in there. If you've got some of this spray light spray, just give that a little kind of spray over the top of it. Yeah, and yeah, a little bit of soy sauce in there as well, which should do the trick. Just a wee splash of that should do the job. And then single malt Scotch whisky. And it's really important that it's single malt. Blend's probably just not going to cut it here. So a really good, I mean, if you've got Macallan, the Macallan's a very, very good choice of single malt. And just give it a small, now the haggis has to drink this responsibly, so just give it a very, very small kind of little, don't waste too much in the haggis. Make sure you enjoy some yourself. Very, very good. And after that, really just kind of give it a little stir over. And that's pretty much it. If you leave that again for another kind of 5 or 6 minutes, it should be ready to go. But obviously, when you're cooking haggis, you need neeps and tatties, potatoes and turnips, for those of you not acquainted with the Scots language, some neeps and tatties. And here's some we made earlier. The neeps and tatties there, so we put that out. When we get the haggis, and we might have to drain this a little bit. How are we going to get this haggis out here? Let's see if we can do it this way. Oh, it's going to get a little bit tense here. Get this haggis out without running away from us here. And there we are. We've got the haggis out the pot, we can get rid of the pot altogether. There, I'll just shove that over here. Okay. Oh, nice, nice, feeling good. And just get that onto your plate there. And how are we? Oh, excellent. Now I'm just going to tee up a little bit of, just as the haggis settles, you're just going to get a little bit of music going. Really, so I've got a few choices I could go for today, but let me have a look to see what's kind of around at the moment. What do we have there? Something from the kind of old style should do the job. Let's have a look here. What do we have? What do we have here? Oh, a bit of Blazing Squad. You're always good about it. Or what about a bit of, maybe this is the business. Oh no, we don't want any of that. Where are we? Okay. There we are. That's a man. That's all we need. And that just lets them absorb. There we are. So just let that absorb into the haggis. Okay. Have a bit of that. So we have our haggis, we have our meats and tatties. We've given it some whiskey. We've just got to now address the haggis. And this is a really, really crucial part. This determines whether your haggis is really going to taste absolutely fantastic or not. So here we go. I'll get that music down a little more. There we are. Fearful, your honest, sonsy face. Great chieftain, oh the puddin' race. I've been them all, you tack your place. Pinch. Triper Theron. Wheeler you worthy o' grace, as lands Mcpherson. The groaning trencher dare you fill your Haggis. Like a distant hill, your pin would help to mend the Valentine we need, whilst through your pores the dews distill. Ah, like amber bead. His knife. No. His knife. Oops. His knife, see rustic and labour dicht, and, ooh, nearly took my finger off there, cut you up wi' ready slicht, trenching your gushing entrails breath like ony ditch, and then what a glorious sight, what a reeking iron, or a rip. Then horn for horn he strips and strive, deal tuck the hammer, on they drive till all their wheels swell, counts belive are bent like drums. And all good man must like to ride. But thank it hums. Is there that o'er his French ragout, or olio with store suit, or fricassee with mackerel spew with perfect scunner, looks down with sneering, scorn for view on sick dinner. Poor Heston Blumenthal. See him out his trash, as feckless as a withered drash, his spindle, Shanter good whiplash, his knee, a knit, through bloody floods and fields to dash. Oh, how unfit, but mark to the rustic, haggis fed, the trembling earth resounds my tread, and clapping my wally neva blade, and I'll market whistle, and legs, and arms and heads I'll stead, like taps of thistle. Ye powers will make mankind your care, and dish and out their bill fare. Old Scotland wants nae skinking ware, but jouts and luggies. If you wish her grateful prayer, give her a haggis. So there we are, thank you very much. That was an address to haggis here, and that just tops off the haggis here, just tops it off. If you feel like it needs just a little bit more whiskey, fire that on the top as well, just for a bit of seasoning. And just fire a lot in there, okay? And please charge your glasses, wherever you are, with something fine and well. And ladies and gentlemen, the toast is the haggis. The haggis! Slange you back.
Oh, thank you so much, Stuart. Absolutely brilliant. There was a wee bit of a lag in the video there. We're not quite sure why that happened. However, we are going to put the whole video up on Scotland's Big Session on YouTube, so you can see the whole thing, and I'm sure you can take some of those great tips for cooking the haggis as well. Mine is actually boiling along in there next door, and I've still to put the soy sauce in the water surrounding it.
I'm going to put mine on tonight and then have it on Burns night. I think that's probably just about long enough in the pan, isn't it? If I have it,
I think so.
We get it in by 6 o'clock tonight. It'll be ready by tea time on Monday. I think that's the way you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, well, I've got to nip out after this and get a vegetarian haggis because none of the shops around us have one, and Mrs. Mac, no matter how much I tell her that it's mostly oatmeal, will not eat it. So anyway, Anna, we've had quite a few people in touch, a couple of emails here.
Yes, Hannah has written, Dear Joe, Bruce and Anna, there's been some chat in the Lockdown 2020 Facebook group about having a bingo card or I Spy for those of us watching the Celtic Connections gigs together. So Eleanor Cormack and I have put one together. It's a wee bit silly. Some things will depend which or how many gigs you watch. Others are more about your own experiences and tastes, all meant in fun. I'll upload it to the group after live at 5. I left the McGregor. Oh.
Have you seen what
in the interests of safety, she's left the McGregor's name off it in case anyone got into it online.
So the thing is, you probably couldn't see that very clearly though, but if you focus in on it, which will be up later on the Facebook page, you will be able to see there are things like Anna Massie with fiddle, Anna Massie on guitar, Anna Massie playing another instrument. But the one I really like is Finlay Napier. What's his name? Finlay Napier and oh my God, his name's
Finlay Napier, Aaron Jones, Matty Folds, other baldy bearded men.
That's the one.
I watched the Singers Circle the other night, and then the next night was Rachel Newton was on, and there was there's just an array of chaps of a certain age with like beards that seem to be getting out of control. Boo Hewardine is the same, but yeah, there's a sort of bald-headed, big bearded look at the moment. It seems to be very in.
Very much so. So that is well worth. I'm going to play that tonight. Actually, of course, Blazing Fiddles are on tonight. If you've got the Celtic Connections pass, or if you don't have it, you can still get it. It's on at 7:30 tonight. This program should be finished by then.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, we're on with I think Nos and I can't remember who else, but there's about 4 acts per night in the Celtic Connections gigs, and so far it's been some of the very most some of the very best value for money gig ticket I've ever bought. I bought my ticket in advance of the festival, and the amount of bands I've already seen, the quality of music I've already seen has been absolutely stunning. They've done such an incredible job of putting that festival together, and it's every night of it has just been a real treat for the eyes and ears. It's a really well done, well produced festival this year.
It's the kind of thing, if you maybe owned a network or you're in charge of a network, you might actually look at it and go, gosh, we could do a lot of music like that on the TV. But
wouldn't that be an interesting idea for some network to think about, Bruce?
Absolutely. But let's not go there, because Kimberly Hensley's also been in touch.
She has. She writes, Burns Night is predicted to bring on snow in our neck of the woods, and we decided to order supplies to get through the virtual Burns Night dinners. If we organise it right, we can celebrate for several days straight without a break. McGregor's will be the best of them, no doubt. We have found a bakery that ships to us here in Washington. They make many fresh baked goods, but also supply many grocery treats. I am sure the prices are just the same as the local Tesco. The night will start with whiskey and haggis, pie with neeps and tatties, gourmet bundling there, mince pies, jammy dodgers, and more to follow up. We figure if the whiskey is top notch, the rest will taste grand. I did manage to make one thing myself this week as a challenge to myself. The crumpets pictured here were a fair success. Aye, all right, Kimberly, that's a wee dig, isn't it?
Yes, anyone who remembers back to the middle of summer and the Black Isle Correspondence crumpet gate, as it turned into.
I'm very pleased for your success. Well done. Congratulations. They look really good.
Yeah, they do look. They look straight out of a packet, Kimberly. To be quite honest. And we've also got this is 2021 is the first year since about 10 years ago that I have not hosted a Burns Night celebration in Lindstrom in Minnesota. This is from Sarah Thompson. It started out as an excuse to introduce Scottish music to some musician friends and has had various faces over the years until last year when the music was provided by the band, Scotch Eggs, and others just came to listen and eat. The food has progressed from me making soup accompanied by Cranachan and Athol Bros to a catered Scottish meal featuring homemade haggis made by my friend Dick Wildberger. He's on the left of the photo from 2018. At the back of the room is Paul Dennison, our piper, and off to the right waits Warren Porter, ready to give the address to the haggis. Now, I think actually Warren is I saw his name pop up earlier tonight. I think he's actually watching the show tonight. So, hello Warren. The photo is after the haggis has made its way down my hallway and into the kitchen. This year, I would not have been able to safely host everyone in my small townhouse, but I am so looking forward to 2022 when hopefully we'll all have been vaccinated. Oh, and I still make Athol Bros every year. Thanks for providing a substitute this year. Stay well and safe, and I'll hope to send you a new picture next year. Well, that is absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much for that, Sarah. We have got a wee treat for you just now. As many of you will know, Bambi Glitterkiss is a star in her own right. Herself and Mr. Blue Sky, as he has become known, her son, very musical combination altogether. And they sent us in this classic Burns number.
Okay.
Absolutely wonderful. Kieran and Bambi, thank you so much for sending that in. Just great. And I hope you were singing along there back at home as well. That fits in rather nicely with this next email we got in as well. This is from Trish O'Neill, who's been with us right from the very, very beginning. And you might remember her dad sang that very song in the middle of the summer. Yeah. Well, she sent this in. I feel moved to send you this photograph and tell you this photograph here, which is beautiful red rose there. I'm giving thanks today for the many ways that the Live at 5 Scotland's Big Session community has carried me through this past year. You have had a couple of views from my window, so here is one from today. I'm contemplating the red rose among the spring flowers with my lit Christmas tree in the background. I just can't take it down yet. Spring will come. The candle I lit for my dad. Anna, you will never know the joy that it brought to my dad to hear you introduce him as you did. Just before Joe and Bruce played the clip of Dad singing a wee bit of his favourite Burns song, you introduced him with the insight of a daughter who really looks up to her dad, as I do to mine. His name is Eddie O'Neill, you said, with a beautiful smile. We have shared many nice afternoons reciting Burns poetry together recently, and even singing a wee verse or two in these last few weeks. This has been a joy in amongst the sadness, and triggered many wonderful memories that go back to my childhood. Perhaps the most memorable moment was when he sang My Love is Like a Red Rose at my daughter's wedding. It was truly glorious, and after he finished singing, he handed my daughter the red rose that he was holding. As Dad was wont to do when he was singing, he surprised us by raising a hand in encouragement for us all to join in the last verse. Well, without knowing it, the whole family gently and reverently joined in the singing in 4-part harmony. It was a taste of heaven and will always be remembered by our whole family. Perhaps you might dedicate a wee song for Dad with love from our whole family. He served the community in many more ways than you can imagine and is a treasure to so many. He's known for his devotion and service, commitment to making the world a better place, and his beautiful tenor voice, not to mention his amazing sense of humour. Well, we are going to give you a little song here just now. Trish, we hope that every one of you will be able to join in this at home. This was, we recorded this morning, and Mrs. MacGregor spent quite a lot of time swearing at the computer putting this piece together. So you will know this song without any doubt. It is A Fond Kiss with all the words underneath as well. So get those vocal cords warmed up. We're about to go karaoke. I hope you were all
Beautiful,
safe.
Bruce.
I've discovered reverb on GarageBand. I mean,
That was
don't want to ruin
lovely.
things, but it was great. It was great fun actually. And Jo got those photographs just from her phone. Most of them are taken around the town and down at Clachnharry as well. We were just going to put the words up, and she said, "No, that looks really boring." So she spent about 3 hours putting that all together and timing it all and getting the right bits. So well done, Mrs. Mac, for doing that. It's just one of the most incredible songs, and I know Davy Holt is going to touch on some of the words of it as well just now. So just one of, I think, probably the most beautiful love song ever written. Really, really,
Yes.
absolutely brilliant. And for those of you who are still greeting and crying, you can stop now, okay? That's a heartbreak. From now on, it's fun and laughter. We are going to move in tradition to the toast to the lasses, and we present to you the wonderful Mr. Davy Holt.
Well, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be asked to do the toast to the lassies tonight. I'm going to keep this short and sweet, just a few paragraphs, and then I'll sing a song at the end. So, the ladies, the women, the girls, or to some, the birds. To Robert Burns, they were simply the lassies. Burns loved the lassies, but in fact it was much, much more than simply love. He had respect for the lassies. But let's first have a look at his love for the lassies. Till all the seas gang dry, my dear, and the rocks melt with the sun, I will love thee still, my dear, till the sands o' time be run. Those wonderful words come from one of Burns's most famous pieces, My Love is Like a Red, Red Rose. Robert Burns first met his wife-to-be, Jean Armour, when he was 25 years old. Jean fell pregnant soon after. But despite Burns's well-documented philandering ways, there is no doubt that Robert loved Jean from the moment that they first met. And in 1786, soon after their becoming a couple, Burns wrote the poem Bonnie Jean. There was a lass and she was fair, at Kirkor Market to be seen. When all her fairest maids were met, the fairest maid was Bonnie Jean. Burns was a regular visitor to Edinburgh after the release of his collected poems, the Kilmarnock edition. And whilst he was in Edinburgh, he established a platonic relationship with Mrs. Agnes McElhose, and they began a regular correspondence using the pseudonyms of Clorinda and Sylvander. Burns wrote A Fond Kiss after their final meeting and sent it to Agnes on the 27th of December 1791, before she departed Edinburgh for Jamaica to be with her estranged husband. Had we never loved sae kindly, had we never loved sae blindly, never met and never parted, we would ne'er been broken hearted. Those are some of the finest words that I think Burns ever wrote, and indeed the entirety of A Fond Kiss is an absolute masterpiece. Finally, let's look at the respect that Burns had for the lassies. Respect and fairness and equality for the fairer sex was in very short measure during Burns' days. If only one of Burns' poems can be used as an insight to his true feelings for the lassies, then it must be Green Grow their Ashes. All nature swears her lovely dears, her noblest work she classes o', her prentice hand she tried on man, and then she made the lassies. And with that, I would like to sing Green Grow their Ashes. There's not a care on every hand, and every hour that passes on, that signifies the life of man. It wasn't for the lasses all. Green grow the rashes all, green grow the rashes all. The sweetest herbs that e'er I spend, I've spent among the lasses all. The worldly race may riches chase, and richer still may fly them all. And though at last they catch them fast, their hearts can ne'er enjoy them all. Green grow the rashes, oh, green grow the rashes, oh. The sweetest hours that e'er I spend, I've spent among the lasses, oh. Give me a canteen uridine, my arms round my dearie home, and worldly cares and worldly men will log it tap so steady ho. Green grow the rashes, oh, green grow the rashes, oh. The sweetest hours that e'er I spend, I've spent among the lasses, oh. But you sit down, you sneer at this, you're not but senseless asses, oh. The wisest man the world e'er saw, he dearly loved the lasses, oh. Green grow the rashes, oh, green grow the rashes, oh. The sweetest hours that e'er I spend, I've spent among the lasses, oh. All nature swears her lovely dears, her noblest work she classes, oh. Her prentice hand she tried on man, and then she made the lasses, oh. Green grow the rashes, oh, green grow the rashes, oh. The sweetest hours that e'er I spend, I've spent among the lasses, oh. Green grow the rashes, oh, green grow the rashes, oh. The sweetest hours that e'er I spend, I've spent among the lasses, oh. That was Green Grow the Rashes. So gentlemen, could I please ask you all to raise your glasses as we toast the Lassies. Thank you very much everybody. Hope you enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you, Davy, for your genuinely kind words. Here I was, expecting to be baited, stocked up on smart arsery, packed full of pith, ready to rattle off a rip-roaring response. But instead, we lassies have been toasted with what Burns himself would surely call the cup of kindness. Aye, Rob could have been thinking of you when he wrote of dainty Davy, faithful Davy, my ain dear Davy. Burns was a fan of the rule of three, and he extended that rule of three to talk about the three ways in which men should treat women. He said they should protect us, they should show us admiration, and they should treat us with good manners. Seems he was maybe also a fan of the old adage, don't do as I do as I say. But anyway, Davy, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, it's because of lockdown that we have so often found ourselves right here in this virtual pub, sharing a dram with virtual friends who have become a very real part of our lives. In this online community, we've shared major events, we've celebrated, we've commiserated through good and bad times, and we've experienced the minutiae of each other's lives, restricted as they may be. We'd probably call it a brotherhood, but there are sisters, misters, and current missuses that form our number. As Burns Night has become a worldwide event, so too Scotland's big session live at 5 at 7 has a truly international flavour. Now, we've explained to the world what a neep is and how to cook it best. So here's another phrase for you. We're a Jock Tamson's bairns. It means we're all God's children. We're all the same. We're all equal. So come away in, but wash your hands. And so, to the reply on behalf of the lassies, I've had a think about how men and women have responded to the events of the past year. Following Burns's example, I've had a go at a verse allegorical, but as I'm not very much of a poet, as you can tell, it might be a bit more McGonagall. Unaccustomed as I am to waxing lyrical about men, it falls to me to present the lassie's reply. So here I am, putting paper under pen. So, this textual terra nova is a territory both trying and treacherous, but to assist with my verbosity, thank Valhalla, I have Admittance Avenue, Entree Road, Passageway, brackets, pick just one, to a thesaurus. To compose an ode in rhyme has driven me nearly mental, but at last some stanzas have appeared to pay tribute to the gentlemen. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Men have a flat chest, ladies a bust. Dust to dust, ashes to ashes. Ladies have boobies, men have moustaches. But sometimes the opposite is true, and that's okay too. Ooh. Now, gender roles, identities are in a state of flux. Would write on rap have bothered who was tucked inside a tux? On equality of sexes, classes, countries, he wrote deftly. No doubt about it, if he lived today, he'd be a lefty. But what with all the birds and siring children indeterminate, Robbie shared a few traits with two modern blonde conservatives. Last year, men's social lives and hobbies took a fearful bashing. Without the football, golf or pub, thoughts turned to lockdown passion. Then lovers found anew the favourite pastime of our Robbies. Now, 9 months on, we're seeing a raft of bonny bouncing babbies. Vanity, thy name is woman. No, that'll ne'er do. In lockdown, it was mostly men that rocked the home-cut hairdo as lassies wielded clippers for their amateur coiffure. The laddies sat in sunshine for their patio pompadour. There came a silent tremor as the cutthroat grazed their gullet. Then nationwide was heard the cry, "Here, that's a bloody mullet!" They suffered summer shearings with unshakable devotion. The women were much cannier. I'll wait till the shops are open. We glammed up for Zoom quizzes, sequins, makeup, tits and teeth, but everybody knew that there were jammas underneath. The Thursday clap for carers was a chance to show our thanks, or use the sound as camouflage to hit the bottle banks. Now the lassies of this lockdown have shown savvy, style and sparkle. Just look at our own Nicola, Jacinda, Dr. Merkel. These female politicians throughout have kept the heed, and now Kamala's joined the gang. It's quite a crew indeed. Let's hope young lassies from these women gain real inspiration. Oh, what a place the world could be with Merquines leading nations. But here's the thing, chaps, men, boys, lads, we wouldn't be without you. You make us laugh, you're quite good crack. There's just something about you. We'll raise a glass to husbands, brothers, sons and baby daddies. Lassies, join me in this toast together. To the laddies. Oh, that apple juice is rough.
work, Anna.
Ah, you're back now.
Yes, did you hear any of that?
No.
I was busy telling you how wonderful it was, and that people were roaring with laughter, and everybody absolutely thought it was wonderful. So well done. And you are a natural performing as well. And Davey as well. Thank you so much for that, Davey. Just fantastic. And again, another one of my favourite Burns songs there. So we have got so much to get into the show though tonight. We've still got, and honestly, do not go anywhere in the next half hour, because Hamish Mcdonald's piece at the end of this programme is worth the admission fee, if there were such a thing attached to this programme. It is absolutely splendiferous. So please do stay with us. But Anna, we have been sent this mysterious piece on the email yesterday.
Oh?
No idea which old hag sent it in, but
Strange
this is
business.
it's very odd altogether. Answers on a postcard, or you can stick them up here who you think it might be. But this is an old hag with one of Burns's probably lesser known poems.
Morning. When are we in? I'll tell you this. There was 2 wives, 2 witty wives. As you've played Hook My Gandhi, and they kissed out upon a time over a drink of brandy. Up Maggie Road, forth she goes, leaves all Mary flighting. And she farted by the byre, for she was gone a shouting. She farted by the byre, she farted by the stable. And fucking nimble were her steps as fast as she was able. At yon day back, our Harley's brack, and Roxon for some Dawkins. The beans and peas come down her thighs, and she cack all her stockings.
That poem actually makes me want to vomit, and the delivery was said with such relish and delight. I don't know who could have
Tell you
done.
what, Bruce, that old hag will make some man very happy one day, I'm sure.
Oh my word! Really, I've watched the video a few times, and I'm looking for clues as to who might have been let loose with that. But they need to see a dentist, whoever it is.
Yes.
And following on from that, Derrick Smith, we've got a wee poem from him coming up very shortly, but we've got a little bit more entertainment for you just now. This is one of Burns's. This is a song actually you'll have heard it a million times before. Mcpherson's Rant. I actually wasn't. I knew it. I've known the song for years. I hadn't realised it was one of Burns's classics. But Alan Kells, who plays in the pub with us over from Ireland many years ago and settled up here, great guy. He put this together for us with a wee bit of history about the song as well.
Hi folks. So this is a song about an injustice. Now this is a largely true story. It is about a young man called James Mcpherson, who was a sort of travelling highwayman in the northeast of Scotland towards the end of the 17th century. Now he was very popular with and very generous to the poor, but he was at odds with the local laird, who was a Lord Duff. Now the story goes that he was such a good swordsman that nobody could arrest him, nobody dared to draw a sword on him. So one night when he was walking through a narrow alleyway in Keith, a woman threw a heavy blanket over him so that he couldn't draw his sword, and he was arrested. Now shortly after, he was tried by a jury who were largely dependents of the Lord Duff, Now, he had one friend rode to the higher court in Aberdeen to try and get a pardon for him. Obviously, he was found guilty by the friends of Lord Duff. As his friend returned with the pardon, Lord Duff turned the clocks in the town forward, or he turned the town clock forward so that he could legally hang Mcpherson before his pardon arrived. Now, Mcpherson was also a very good fiddle player. The night before he died in the dungeon, he had his fiddle and he wrote a brand new tune on it. Now, when he was on the scaffold the next day before he was to be hung, he played this tune on his fiddle. And he tried to give the fiddle to some of his friends at his wake so that they might play the tune, but none of his friends wanted to be associated with the condemned man. So he smashed his fiddle through the middle so no one else could ever play that tune. Now, the remains of that fiddle are in the Clan Mcpherson Museum in Newton Moor, and this was originally a very old Scottish poem, but this version is a rewrite by Robert Burns. So this is called Mcpherson's Rant, or Mcpherson's Lament. She stood up in a windy ledge, and a blanket threw over me. I say rantingly, say wantingly, and say dauntingly giddy. Well, he played a tune and he danced a rude the gallows tree. Oh, what is death but parting breath? On money's a bloody pain. Well, I've dared his face, and in his place I'll scorn him yet again. I say say wantingly, and say dauntingly giddy. Well, he played a tune and he danced a rune below the gallows tree. Well, I have lived a life of sword and strife. I die by treachery. Burns my heart, I must depart, and no avenger be. I say rantingly, say wantingly, and say dauntingly giddy. Well, he played the tune and he danced a rude below the gallows tree. So take these bands off my hands and give to me my sword. For there's no man in all Scotland but I'll brave him at a word. sun shine bright, and low beneath the sky. Make coward shame disdain his name, the wretch that dare no die. I say ranting he, say wanting he, and say dauntingly gay he. Well, he played a tune and he danced a rune below the gallows tree.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Alan Kells, for sending us that in. And so many of you getting in touch to say you didn't know that story before as well. And, well, Junie Mcpherson has been in touch to say poor injustice, her being a Mcpherson and him being one. Yeah, it was. It's a great song. I remember getting taught it in primary school, actually. Did you ever sing that, Anna?
I don't think so. No, I remember hearing the story, but I think maybe, I can't remember if it was my folks or Ian McFarlane that told me the story. It feels like one of those stories that could have been told by either of those people.
It is a great song. Remember, stick with us tonight. We're going on a little bit longer because we have a remarkable piece of poetry to finish the programme with tonight. Well, it's more than poetry. It's a complete performance by Hamish Mcdonald. That's coming up very shortly. But first, Derrick Smith, who has just been a great supporter of the programme, started up the Lockdown 2020 Facebook site as well, which has kept so many of you together over this lockdown period. Derrick sent us this little piece, which fits in with the old Haggis piece as well. That was, okay, I may as well let you know, it was none other than Mrs. MacGregor was the old hag. Some suggesting, I was reading some of the suggestions, I thought, before this gets out of hand, we better actually say who that is. So that was Mrs. MacGregor, who had great fun yesterday out in the garden, blackening her teeth, wearing a wig, and just having a ball to herself all afternoon. But this is a new version about what can go wrong at a Burns night. This is from Derrick. Brilliant, Derrick. Thank you.
Oh, what a sleekit, horrible beastie lurks in your belly after the feastie, just as you sit down among your kin. There starts to stir an enormous wind. The neeps and tatties and mushy peas start working like a gentle breeze, but soon the pudding with a sonsy face will hae you blowing all over the place. No matter what the hell you do, somebody's going to have to pay, even if you try to stifle. It's like a bullet out a rifle. Hold your bum tight to the chair, try and stop the leaking air. Shiver yourself from cheek to cheek. Pray to God it doesn't reek. But all your efforts go asunder. Out it comes like a clap of thunder. Ricochets around the room. Back to me a sonic boom. God almighty, it fairly reeks. I hope I have my breeks. To the bog I better scurry. Oh, what the hell. It's no my worry. I'm to round about me choking. One or twa nearly boking. I feel better for a while. Can't help but raise a smile. Was him? A shout with accusing glower. Alas, too late. He's just keeled over. You dirty bugger, they shout and stare. I didn't feel welcome any mair. Where'er ye be, let your wind gang free. Sound like just the job for me. What a fuss at Rabbie's Perry, for the sake of one wee fatty.
Oh, Derrick, that is absolutely brilliant.
That's really excellent.
Again, making me slightly sick as well. Oh my word. Oh, this program has just been so enjoyable to be part of, and I hope you're enjoying it there as well. It's just been there's so much great stuff. Um, yeah, thank you, Derek. And yes, the haggis has had that effect on many people. I think over the years, but
I'd say so. I'd say so.
yeah, but perhaps not put into his words as eloquently as put as by Derrick Smith there. Thank you for that, Derek.
Maybe not.
Oh.
You were mentioning there, Bruce, about how much you enjoyed it. This is what a lovely evening. What a great way to spend an evening. Margaret Cox had commented earlier on that so many of you are chatting away and making loads of comments. It's difficult to keep track of, and there's loads of stuff to get to this evening. But Margaret had commented, I don't often re-listen to Live at 5, but this one will definitely need a second go. And I know that this is a live stream every week, but you can, if you want to, if you've missed it or anything, just in case nobody realises, or in case you didn't know about it, you can go back onto the MacGregor's Facebook page and watch these again. And the comments and stuff are all still there. You can see it as it's come up as people are commenting on it, as well as the YouTube channel with a lot of the music that's featured in Scotland's Big Session. You can go back and watch the whole Blethers again if you fancy.
Yeah, it is actually. I had a look at the YouTube channel recently, and I've forgotten how many brilliant performances there were that we had on the program, and how many great musicians. So we're going to get that back and going again anyway. I mean, there are so many musicians still making videos out there and still looking for things to do and to play to. So we will. If you have got stuff, remember to send it to scotlandsbigsession@gmail.com. All your thoughts and pictures and videos are very much appreciated. We are just about there at the end of the dinner, as it were, and I think it's only fair that we finish with a rendition of Auld Lang Syne, but possibly as you have never heard before. Mayuko, over there in Sapporo in Japan, sent us this, and she said, I am not a singer, but I am going to do this for you, and it's just wonderful. Thank you so much, Mayuko.
Thanks, Mayuko.
小樽の光窓の雪海をむつき重ねつついつしか年も過ぎのと明けてぞ今は別れゆく
Brilliant.
That's wonderful. And Mayuko,
Absolute
we're coming to
magic.
Japan. We're going with Blazing Fiddles. We're just going to come at some
Aye.
stage. In fact, we'll do 5 at live in Sapporo. That'd be great fun. Nobody would
No
know what
worries.
Well, Anna, that is just about it for the normal part of the programme, if ever such a thing existed.
Yeah.
It has been wonderful. Thank you so much. Don't go anywhere though, folks. Sit down, get yourself a dram or a beer or a wine or an orange juice or an apple juice or a lovely cup of tea, whatever you fancy, because for the next 15 minutes, you're going to witness something pretty special. But before we do that, Anna, brilliant to see you. We'll see you next week, hopefully, at the Young Trads. I'll be down there. So I've got my special dispensation to allowed to travel for next week to come down to do the Young Trad finals. So looking forward to that. And of course, Blazing Fiddles on the telly tonight. Well,
That's right.
on the Celtic Connections telly. So that's.
And then actually, if I know a lot of you are musicians, if you fancy joining us at 9 o'clock on Zoom, there are going to be 2 sessions hosted by various, like all of Blazing Fiddles are going to be there between these 2 sessions. A slower paced, gentle session and a more advanced, faster session. There are links to Zoom meetings on our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you follow the band, you can find a link. Just click on it. It's a free session. The Celtic Connection stuff will be over by 9. You can join us for tunes for 3/4 of an hour to an hour from 9 o'clock tonight. So come and say hello, come and play tunes with us on Zoom later.
And thanks to so many of the people who got in touch with their videos and things. Stewart Cassells, wonderful address to the Haggis, Davy Holt, Emily Smith and Jamie McLennan. Yourself, Anna, for that wonderful rendition as well. And Derrick, Mayuko, Glenn and Morven at the beginning of the programme, and Bambi.
Alan
and
with
Mr.
the
Blue
Rant.
Sky. Absolutely, just wonderful, wonderful. And of course, this wouldn't be put together if it weren't for Mrs. MacGregor holding things together behind the fort. She thankfully isn't wearing her disguise. And if I get my say, she will never wear it again. Terrifying, absolutely terrifying. Anyway, we now leave you in the very capable hands of Mr. Hamish Mcdonald and the tale of Tam O'Shanter in Inverness.
When winter's eve draws snell and dour, and creeps towards the lowsing hour, the moon keeks through the fading light, the market's closing down for night. When borealis cold breath blaws to smoor the lawns with drifting snaws, here in icy grip no less lie the streets of Inverness, where any night you'll find old Tam partaking of his evening dram. But this winter's eve was one exception, for Tam jaloused a cold reception. Should he gang hame birling to the wife, hence risk it baith his limb and life? Richt weel he feared on glowering look, her lashing tongue and deft left hook. And so, to save a fearful domestic pagger, frae his workplace Tam did swagger. Oh no for Tam to bus or hike, he went by trusted motorbike. Had you seen sick drumly nicht, ye winna yourselves hae done it. Great dodds o' sleet come swirling doon, and melt it on his bonnet. But he hadna gang far down the street, when cruel misfortune he did meet. He breenged off richt into a dyke, and the wheels come fleeing off his bike. Tam wist that beggars mauna be choosers, so high-tailed it for the nearest boozers. But he hadna gang far down the street, when Johnny the Dram he did meet. Whemsay by that moniker is kenned, fi drinking drammies days on end. Och, he and Tam was just like brothers, they'd been in money's a bevy session together. Fi just one mare they shouldn't swither, fi frying their brains and stewing their livers. John, spying Tam's form through blizzard squall, his bon homie did engender, when he roared on Ken's speckled cry, Tam, my boy, we're out in a bender. The storm abin might roar and whistle, they set their course by glen and thistle, by waterfront and Clachnahary, then toonwards back to Crackentarry, by Phoenix and MacGregor's bar, way doon the hatch and Slangevar, by Black Isle Bar and Hootenannies, chatting up birds they didn't ken were trannies, till in the end they did descend upon a gloomy market lane, where lamplight ghosts through iron grill, there stands the ancient market inn, unchanged since the days of Culloden Moor, as you can tell by the condition of the furniture. Into the reeking raucous room, the drithies stackert through the gloom, as Tam and John did fairly gop, at the entertainment on a tabletop. A piano box was honking and dirling, some Celtic gadgie was yellocking and skirling. O Tam had jade but been nae undone by fortune's cruel mishanter, and body swerved this drunken hoolie and went hame to Mrs. a Shanter. She told the wheel that thou was a stunkert, half-daft useless pish he'd drunkert, and fae January 1st to end December was scarce a nicht thou could remember. She prophesied with scalding talks thou would be drowned in Muirton locks, or for a cert thou would be slain by bogally men on Craig Dinane. Outside the har came swirling doon, a pea-suit plaid to hap the tune. Ach, to dulsome ways our Tam was scant, he relished in this barroom rant. The nicht drave on wi' cracking sang, the chorus rose, the last bell rang, wi' stories, tunes, and cracks and rhymes, they parted weel past closing time. O Tam felt glee and blissful solace, then stopped at the sicht of the local polis, muckle, brawny, bold and brash, and 5'9" across the moustache. He stood with truncheon gripped in hand. Time up, clear out, was his command, as the punters fled to lane frae bar, and smoored in Murray's swirling haar, as in the black December nicht, dwine off wi' fading soon and sicht. As up on High Kirk's ancient tower, the clock clicks to the witching hour, as high in Belnook Hullet's skellachs, amid the drunken sangs and yellachs, then keeks to see the blazing thrang on Kirkgate's ancient causes gang. At Kirkyard yets they darena loiter, and rammel on wi' Rochel stoiter. Now, drunken indeed our intrepid pair, they still reserved resourceful flair, and easing Tam's impending qualm by repairing his bike with the wheels of a pram. And so the bike rode worthy, as good as they maun macker, till John discovered a technical hitch. Tam was facing backwards. Kings may be blessed, but Tam was pished. He blootered out into the mist. O Tam, had ye the vision to contemplate your next decision? Troth, thou was bothered by the goad, a polis hiding by the road, and wi' their sleek at ways conniving to ambush thee for drunken driving. And so he takes the lang road hame, across the brae, by Craig Dinane. By Muirton locks and up the brae the trusty cycle went, whiles glowering round for polis cars and singing a Gaelic lament. The throbbing roar went rattling o'er by stately fir and Gothic tower, when onward through the trees he drove into the deep dark gloomy grove. The yew-wood soon was drawing nigh, where ghasts of legend nichtly cry, when glimmering through the groaning trees the forest seemed all in a blaze. Through ilka bore the beams were glancing, and loud resounded mirth and dancing. O fearless, bold, inspiring drink, what twisting fates thou firkin link, as oftentimes in retrospect will shack the heedest thoughts collect of fearsome deeds the nicht afore, we shudder to the very core. Inspiring bold John Barleycorn, what dangers thou canst make us scorn. We ushka beha, we'll fear nae evil, we buckfast tonic, we'll face the devil. The madness blazed in Tammy's noddle, he sooked out his quarter bottle, and stopped the bike by glimmering bower, face lit by briefest sheerest skewer, then creepit fore and horns and knees, on snaw-thick grun atwixt the trees, then glake it gulped, at sicht abhorrent, the ghastly scene that streeched the forum, ayont the trees, through misty hoch, a cailey, on a frozen loch, and queer a rake of chiels and quines, hags and ghouls of every kind. Warlocks, witches, evil fairies, boggly bows and peery weeries, carlins, kelpies, droichs and buddies, wraiths and ghasts and heedless hoodies. The haar was pierced with chilling moans, and on the freezing nicht air drones, as skeleton pipers o' a dirl, chanter eerie pibroch skirl, a demon on a baran thumped, a jerky 4/4 real-time stump, piping, drumming, whistling, fiddling, reeling, rhyming, dancing, diddling, Tam gawped aghast wi' yawning gub, for it minded him fine on a white heather club. Oh, hell, men, what fate our Tam betides, and oh, what antering six besides. There was a Jacobite soldier in agonised throes, with Cumberland's musket ball smashed through his nose, a team of black horses and training a hearse, a red coat with a claymore jammed up his arse. There was a revenant dentist with smoke in his brief. He'd gassed up his victims and howked out their teeth, and dozens besides, sae foul and sae evil, to even describe would be downright uncivil. Here Tammy gazed gobsmacked and wondrous, the mirth and fun grew wild and thunderous, the pipers loud and faster skirled, the dancers twisted, hooked and birled, hickerty-pickerty, heely-galeery, hurdum-durdum, tapsel-teary, when in the ram Tam did spy, an unco sicht to please his eye, a brawly carlin, wild and wicked, stripped a willow scuddy naked. Tam louped and laughed with raucous fits, as she shimmied her shoodled her jiggly bits. Then tinty reason Tam did yell, "Nae bother, darling, on yourself!" Scarcely had he finished roaring, when out the hellish band came pouring, as bees buzz out with angry fyke, till Tam get mounted on his bike, with pounding brain and feeble heart it, with muckle welly the engine start it. So Tam drives on, the witch's folly, with mony an eldritch screech unholy. Now, do thy trusty utmost bike, gang roaring down space rocket like, with throttle through, gang screaming for, and win the licht to the psychiatric hospital door. There at them thy 12 fingers ye may toss, that institution's entrance they dare na cross. The pursuance there they'll sure mun quit it, for they ken damn fine they'd be admitted. The naked carlin, four afore the rest, horde upon the noble motorcycle pressed. She flew at Tam with furious ettle, then burnt her horn in scalding metal. Tam, trembling like a stricken gape, cries, "Holy mince, she's grabbed a pipe!" With final twist the throttle screamed, and jolted Tam into the gleam, and in the black December night, securely bathed in psychiatric hospital licht. Tam takes one last look turning round at the naked carlin in the rim of the gloom. She glowered through the nichtly calm, then stuck 12 fingers up at Tam. Then off into the darkness cantered, clutching the exhaust pipe of Tam o' Shanter, as the hellish legion slithered hame to the deepest nooks of Craig Dinny. Now wha this tale of truth may hear, then log in good and hae nae fear. For to finalise I shall dispense a line or twa of common sense. Whenever to the drink yes are inclined, or a 3-day session's on your mind, just caw canny and keep the heed like, and remember the tale of old Tam and his motorbike.